Hey guys, it's Fuzzy Gump here. God, crikey. Uh, no cap or vest top today, but maybe a next time. I'll save it. I'll save that for one Anthony Herbert there. As if on cue, Fuzzy Gump. There it is. Started off the show. Stream Fuzz, stream. That's the new Run Forest Run. If you didn't know, get to know. But we are back talking some transfer stories in the world of Manchester United. A lot of news yet again. Once again, a lot of news and some new stuff to talk about, and we'll delve right into things. Of course, big ups to Anthony Herbert there, Fuzzy Gump, as you can tell. Forrest Gump in the background. I was well kitted out in the attire, a very Forrest Gump-esque attire. Last night on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Do be sure to go check that out. Do smash a like on that stream as well. That was some good stuff there. Going to be an interesting version to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly next week as well. A quiz where me and Anthony Herbert in chat here will go head to head on some, I think, general knowledge football questions with various things about maybe about our clubs, maybe about other clubs, maybe about just things in general. So I'm no idea what to expect. Looking forward to it. I'm sure it'll be an entertaining show. So if you're interested in that, make sure to tune in over here and on Early Doors Football TV next week, Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. to catch all of that good stuff. Right. So. The headline of the show, UGARTE deal likely. What is the story with UGARTE? So, as I alluded to on last night's show, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I mentioned with United's starts and things at the moment, a lot of talks going on. And one thing that I've noticed with Manchester United this season or this summer that I've not really noticed in previous summers gone by. And that's essentially the club having a huge amount, for a club that usually would like to get things done one at a time, slowly, steady, wins the race. This time around, it's Man United with about 4, 5, maybe even 6 different lines of communications with talks ongoing at the exact same time, which is not something we're used to at Manchester United. We're not used to this. We're used to Murto madness. And my God, I typed in Man United news onto Twitter the other day, and just to see what, if something would come up with just a search there that I might have missed with the accounts that I'm following there. And Christ, people taking me way back to the signing of Raphael Varane and how excited people were there. Oh, look at it. It's Murto madness. He's really done a good job. He's wrapped up Jadon Sancho. And now we're going to go on and sign Varane. What a summer. Best summer transfer window ever. Oh, kiss my arse. That was it was not the best transfer window ever. It was quite a bad transfer window with all things considered. Quite a bad one. So there again, they probably never had a good transfer window. They probably don't know what the meaning of the words good transfer window actually are. So we'll leave that to them, right? They're not here anymore. We've got other people taking care of business, and maybe this might be the first piece of business. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. There's more information on Joshua Zirkzee as well. Supposedly that's, the talks are getting along fine in that department, despite there being people saying, United haven't even started. Well, they probably have. It's just no one actually reports the same thing anymore, because maybe somebody wants to take the chance on being the one that gets it right if everyone following the train of thought gets it wrong, then they can say, "Look at me, I'm the credible one now," and then they get an influx of followers because they got a transfer story right. So that's probably what the ante of the situation with that is. But we'll get to Xerxes in a second. But UGARTE, as I alluded to last night, that there is a lot of talks, a lot of different topical points and points of discussion between Manchester United and PSG. Various names that were probably mentioned, the ones that were, that were disclosed, that were shared to the public, of course, were one UGARTE, and the other one was Marcus Rashford. Now, looking at it from this perspective, maybe there is a form of sweetener that we can put on things between PSG and perhaps other clubs, that they are interested in signing other players that will require quite a lot of financial impetus into getting deals done with other clubs. Because I know Benfica, a midfield target, João Neves, is also a Man United target. One of the things that are very well renowned about Benfica is they like to price their players ludicrously high. So we know that if there's a target in Benfica, despite the player probably being a suitable enough quality player, perhaps for what Man United needs, we probably wouldn't be able to afford him even on a good day. And even if we could afford him, what would the point be in splashing that much money on somebody that's probably not actually ever going to get a transfer market value of what it is Benfica usually ask for? So, so Neves looks unlikely, but for PSG, they're still the Middle Eastern state, right? They're still Qatari owned. So, they'll have plenty of cash to do that sort of a deal with Benfica, overpay as much as they want, and still get the player. For Man United's case, we want to be more clinical with our business. We want to, don't want to overpay anywhere. We want to, try and find as much, lower fees as we can for the right sort of quality of player. You don't want to overspend anywhere, but you don't want to bank. You don't want to bank in, cash in on a player coming to the club and saying we may overpay, but he'll definitely be worth it 5-10 years down the line. We don't want to do that, or 2-3 years down the line. We don't want to do that. We want to be efficient, economically efficient. If we've got £50 million to spend, we want to say, let's not try and really push it by signing one player for £50 million. Let's try and spread it out. Maybe sign some good squad players that will actually help in terms of putting more people that we need to be moved on from the club out the door, plus then bring some of those more squad players in that will up the level of the team overall, and ultimately benefit us more so in the long run than trying to bank in on one single player hitting the ground running and carrying this club to success. I mean, we're not quite in that sort of position anymore. We do need a lot of these sort of lesser celebrated signings, more of the smaller names coming in and doing God's work, we could say, to do the job, to get the job done. So UGARTE, do I think that's the sort of deal Man United should be looking at? I think so. Midfield is a target on the agenda. UGARTE was a player we were looking at last summer. We were after him last summer. Of course, PSG bought him for about £50 million or 50 million euros. And now I think PSG want roughly about the same to sell him on. Of course, we'll negotiate to bring that fee down. And as I've stated, perhaps, try and run a sweetener where Rashford goes the other way. They sign Rashford. Maybe they give us like a small sum of cash, plus then we give them Rashford whilst we get UGARTE. Maybe that's an option. Maybe they would consider that. Maybe they wouldn't. but that's the whole point of the talks going on with PSG. Marcus Rashford was included as one of the conversational topical points of discussion. UGARTE, I think we could do a good deal for him. Is a target that I think Ten Hag wanted last summer. Couldn't get him. Couldn't afford him. This summer we could get him even cheaper than we would have had to have gotten him from last summer. And Ten Hag could get a player that he desires. So there's quite a few wins to this. There's quite a few W's. So so yeah, this should be interesting. Question: if the chicken is dodgy at Old Trafford, should they have the Bubblegump shrimp? I don't know. I'll leave that to Forrest to decide if he wants shrimp. I like shrimp. Can do so much with it. But yeah, at least with Forrest Gump, maybe he wouldn't, give everybody salmonella if he were to serve shrimp at Old Trafford. Good evening, gents. Good evenings to you, Arsenal Manic. Good to see you here. Hope you're doing well. How's Captain Dan, Fuzzy Gump? Girl, Captain Dan drowned himself. Was sick and tired of the shrimp diet. Couldn't stand it anymore. Went to be one with the Shrimp King. Sank to the bottom of the ocean, to the depths of the Atlantic. Or maybe he sailed his trawler into the Bermuda Triangle and was never seen or heard of again. Maybe. I don't know. How are you doing, bro? Hope you're well. Big ups to Anfield Uncle Rods. Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing all good here. Hope everything's good with you, brother. And how's things going with Arne Slot, with his arrival at Liverpool? How the vibes at Liverpool Football Club? Because it seems a little bit quiet on the Liverpool front. It's a bit like Arsenal, to be honest. No big rush to really do anything. I don't know if that's a case that you're just waiting for the Euros to be done before you start, trying to go out of your way to do your business, or if it's just, not a lot of not many plans really to implement a lot of changes. Uncle Rodney in the house. Absolutely, 100%. And do be sure to go spread some love to Anfield Uncle Rods as well. Check out his channel, drop him a subscription and all of that good stuff. You know how it is here. We don't exclusively keep. We spread the love around here. So yes, if you support me, you support everybody, as the same way that I do. How much does Ten Hag has to spend? I'll probably say somewhere around probably the 100 million, just base transfer value. Probably has about 100 million, probably has about 150 million, to be fair. Because the thing is that we see it all the time, that people keep sending out stories like, guess what, guys, Man United's bankrupt. They got like £1 million to spend. Ha ha ha. And then it comes out in the accounts that Man United had like £250 million. Just happy days. It happens every single summer. People think they know what money there is available, like right down to the figure. No chance. Absolutely no chance with that. I'd overdress the UGARTE with a Rashford deal. I suppose with the UGARTE deal, that there is the intent to put in an offer for UGARTE. I think the proposal. There's people saying that there was already a proposal sent to PSG, which I think initially they rejected. I think it's like a verbal proposal that they did. But Manchester United expected to submit an offer worth €35 million to PSG for Manuel Ugarte. Of course, a Uruguayan outlet, given that he's a Uruguayan player, they'll report on their players. Claims the player would love to play in the Premier League. I mean, as again, it's simplicity at its finest. Every player that gets linked with a move to the Prem, somewhere in those transfer stories, the player says allegedly, "I love the Premier League. It's my favoritist league in the whole wide world." They probably prefer the Uruguayan or their actual home country leagues or something to the Premier League. But yeah, it is what it is. It's just it's like a relations thing, I suppose. Gets more people invested in the story from that club specifically that the target is linked to. I did read that Rashford might be staying now, Fuzzy. I think that might have been the intended plan. However, there is a bit of Rashford news that I picked up on today that does make things a little bit more interesting, a little bit of spice, which we'll see how it develops. Probably won't come to anything, but who knows, it could happen. But yes, Ugarte, by the looks of it, is a likely deal to be explored. Whether we get the signing over the line or not, we'll have to see. But yeah, that story is making progression. We'll quickly delve into the Rashford as it has sort of a bit of relevance to the Ugarte story. But yeah, Rashford to PSG, I would say probably is a deal that we should look into. I think we should be offering Rashford for a feasible lump sum, and whether PSG would take him or not, I don't, to be honest, think that PSG are desperate for Rashford. I think there'll be quite a few names that they'll probably that they will seek out first before they get to Rashford being the next player on the list to get for that position. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. But what is new with the Rashford front? So word has it that Saudi Pro League club Al Ittihad are expected to make an approach for Marcus Rashford soon. It's believed that Rashford is one of their main targets. Now, that's the only bit of news that has come on the forefront for Rashford from a Saudi interest. Do I think that Saudi Arabia would look into Rashford? I think they would. I do. I think they would look into Rashford, considering that it was officially stated that every single player could be sold this summer on the basis that he'll be for the right price. If Saudi want to table there's 70, 80 million pound bid somewhere in that region, they're probably, I think Man United would take it. I genuinely think that they would take it. Yeah, if it was up to me, he'd be gone for about 50 or 60. Between 50 and 60, it's pure profit for Manchester United. Complete and utter pure profit for Manchester United, which is crazy to think about how Scott McTominay was offered. Or Man United were offered 30 million for Scott McTominay, and we said no. It's like 30 million pounds of pure profit for a player that just hasn't got a place in the team. Nobody knows what his best position is. Plays the new best position for a game, and people realise, oh, well, he's crap there too. It's crazy stuff. But whether we get that same sort of fee ever again for Scott McTominay, I hope we do. And I hope United cash in on it. But Rashford getting interest from Saudi Arabia, I think that there is perhaps a little a little bit of probability to that. Not so much truth, but probability. I do think that Saudi would be looking at some of Man United's players. They are doing so with Casemiro as well at the moment. So yeah, there's beliefs that we can have in that rumor. So let's see how that develops. Hopefully, it does transpire into more news from more noise from Saudi Arabia. Fuzzy, hello. Jamino, hello to you too. How are we doing? I'm losing my mind without having the Euros to watch every day. Oh yeah, is there any Euros football on tonight? No, there's not. No Euros tonight. How about that? It all starts again on Saturday though. So yeah, I guess we'll sort of just waiting for transfers, just transfer news for our clubs. With Man United, there's a lot of stuff going on. Nothing really getting over the line. Like no deals getting finished dead, or finished dead, like, or not dead, finished, like getting stuff done and over the line. Getting deals done. That's what I was trying to say. I mean, if it was old regime, then probably most of the transfer stories would be killed, and we'd be sat here doing absolutely nothing, staring into a void of blackness and space, nothingness. Just cold and alone forever. PSG are desperate for a big name player like Rashford because they need an Mbappe replacement. Well, that's the appeal. That Rashford, maybe he gets to that level. Maybe he finds that level to his game at a club like PSG, which is why I think we need to try and get PSG to buy into the appeal that Rashford would be, a big time player for them. Even though I don't believe he would. You have to try and sell. You have to try and oversell a player, to cash out, get the money for him and run. Just take the money, run for the hills as fast as you can go. Liga needs a big name superstar, even more than PSG need one, because no one has bought the TV rights to Liga next season. Ooh, the appeal for Liga. It's like there's like Liga could be made into something special, but no one really is all that invested. It kind of doesn't help that the French government tied up with Qatari ownership and investment, basically run PSG. Like it's literally the club of the French government. It's a bit like Real Madrid in Spain. Real Madrid was the king and the club of kings and queens or something. And then you had the bastard child or the bastard club in Barcelona that like Spanish royalty hated everything to do with Catalonia. So Barcelona from Catalonia, and then Real Madrid from the heart of Spain. It's only natural that those two clubs hate each other. They used to be at war with each other, literally. So, but yeah. So it doesn't really help that one club has got the backing of the national government. The other teams don't. And then you've got the financial distribution after the fact. So there's a lot of league and clubs that a lot of summer transfer windows usually have to sell first in order to buy, which is really, really backwards. Really, really backwards. You could watch the matches back on Catch Up TV. Yeah, do that. If you can dare to watch it, don't watch any of the England games because you'll be driven to such a point that you'll never see a football game in your life ever again, just from self-inflicted depression. Just watching Southgate try to manage a golden generation, and it's collapsed. make sure you watch England's games thrice. I strongly recommend you don't. I'd sooner rather bite off a chunk of my own tongue than watch an England game. Understandable. We're sort of in the same boat, and we're England fans. Rene Hake is to become a new coaching staff at United. Yep, there is. That's another part of the stories that I'll be covering. That well, I might as well jump onto it now. Start covering the coaching side of things now. So, quite a few names linked with the exit door in the coaching side of things. Of course, as we know, the likes of Benny McCarthy set to leave Manchester United Football Club at the end of this month as his contract expires. Other names that are faced with uncertainty at the moment, we have Michel van der Gaag, and also I think Steve McLaren, and on top of that, Darren Fletcher. So quite a few names that are linked perhaps with the exit door. Do I think that all of those guys will leave? I think most of them will. I do think that there is essentially I think it's probably the discussions that are going on with that between Ten Hag and the guys upstairs, that perhaps Ten Hag feels like, actually, for what I want to do here, two names that I think would, that would be a great way to sort of morph my approach to the game. Guys like Ruud van Nistelrooy, another name being linked to the coaching staff. So there's a few managers, like actual managers at the moment from the Eredivisie, that are being linked to the coaching staff at Manchester United. The impression with that is that Ineos essentially picture the managerial position or the coaching setup at Manchester United and feel like the way in which it should be approached is having a similar structure to that of Manchester City, where Pep Guardiola has got a load of managers that serve on the coaching staff, or people that would be management contenders. I mean, look at the way in which you see all the disciples of Pep, dissipating all over Europe and popping up as managers for other clubs. The Ineos believe that a similar approach should be adopted at Manchester United. Get your main manager, and you've got all the coaches, all the managers. So it's essentially like you've got loads of managers at Manchester United. There's not just one sole manager. It's like there's various managers, but they all operate under the same network, and it's like they're all part of the coaching staff. There's all little twists on the game plan that each of them contribute, and perhaps it's a way in which, from a tactical standpoint, Man United could get a little bit ahead of the game. There's a possibility there. Whether it actually comes to fruition or not, it depends entirely on how we opt to implement what the idea is. And if the idea is good and the implementation goes well, I think Manchester United could do some real good stuff. If not, could go a bit lopsided, a little bit lopsided. So could cause problems equally. But I've seen a clip as well of Rene Hake in, I think it was a halftime team talk, and the guy looked like he was crying in the corner of literally, it's like he sat him in the naughty room, right? The main dressing room's here. There's another little room off to the side, and he's gone and sat him in there, and he's sat in there on his own crying, and he just starts effing and blinding and cussing this guy out. He's just like, you look at me, You fucking idiot. Talking about, discipline on a pitch and, getting stupid yellow cards and stuff. So, yeah, there's a bit of a fiery temperament coming into the coaching staff if that happens, where we do end up getting Rennie Hake to join the coaching staff at Manchester United. So watch this space. It looks like it's going to be moving along relatively quickly. I believe Ruud van Nistelrooy is pretty much done. He's essentially he's literally just waiting for the contract for Ten Hag to be signed, which should be done this week. And once that happens, I think all the coaching staff will join at the same time. Go Ahead Eagles haven't said that they've contacted yet, but they are fully aware that the intention is there, and they understand that, look, we won't stand in his way if he opts to go to you. So we'll have to see what happens there. Rashford won't work at PSG, though. Another big ego player. Doesn't work hard at all, and PSG squad is already full of fake wannabe roadmen who fit that exact criteria, which is why he fits the bill, because there's more of the same. It's a lot more of the same type of player there. The ones that don't work hard, the ones that, take the big money. They're marketable, aren't they? They're marketable players. It's like the French League All-Star or something. Feels like a sort of proper major league type feel as well. So maybe there is a fit. Somehow, some way there's a fit there. I think not for the right reasons though. I think the Egon has something like 6 different winners in the space of 6 years before those pricks came around. Yeah. And the fact is that France, they look at the national team of France, really, really successful national team, very, very high level of quality. So you get very good French exports. It's just the league is not ideal. The league is not ideal, but you do get a lot of top-notch French exports. I mean, for example, another player that I'm sure you will absolutely despise, but love at the same time, Thierry Henry. French export. So, it's that country can can bring out some great talents. Some world-class talents have come from France. Gareth Southgate's reign of terror, I'm loving it. It will surely come to an end soon. It will. His England days being about as memorable as a bowl of dirt. Yeah, it will. If you're going to watch Southgate match, don't forget to wear safety glasses, the same ones used in the chemistry class when working with Bunsen burner and chemicals. Oh, those little plastic things. They're told, they'll keep you safe. Christ, do my glasses keep my torso safe from the bloody? What is it? There's little saws, the really thin blades, tiny thin blades. Literally, you touch something with them and they'd snap. And these things would go flying, and you're just like, what is this? Why am I going to get cut up here by saw blades flying everywhere? This is literally a school. This is not a Saw movie franchise thriller. Christ almighty. But those were some good days. They were some good days. I'll give them that. I'm fairly sure Scott Carson City's goalkeeping coach. I'm sure he is. Hey, Tom Heaton can be our goalkeeping coach. Steady Eddie. He'll be our Scott Carson. Watch this space. He'll turn into our Scott Carson. English. Get the quota. Can't go wrong. Firstly, you're swaying a bit. Are you streaming from your boat? No, I'm on my kayak. You see that? I'm on my kayak. It's like early doors when he gets tired. It's like yeah. If you know, you know. People like and subscribe to Harvest 44. Let's get to 200 subs. Yes, people, please do. Please do. It'd be most appreciated if we can get up to 200 subs. It's taking a while to get there, but I'm sure we'll get there in the end of the day. We will be there. We will be there. We'll hit that 200 subs, and this light bulb will light up in excitement. Can't see it. This light bulb here will light up in excitement. You'll tingle the electrons in there. But yeah, if we can hit 200 subs, that'll be fantastic. France were a bit shite in the 2000s, early 2010s. Lots of half French players have declared for France in recent years. I feel that PSG have had a bit of an influence on that. Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, I can't stand Thierry Henry, someone who had to cheat against like a Paul McShane. He lost all credibility when he handled that ball. Speak of much like Joe Hendry, say his name and he'll appear. Early doors. Fuzz is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. But yes, a big ups to early doors. How we doing? How are we doing? So yes, so that is essentially the news front with the coaching staff. The intent is to build or establish a setup comparable to that of Manchester City's coaching setup, with various managers serving under one, and ultimately putting together a very highly professional setup that drives for players to get the best out of themselves. Buzz, did you see the picture I sent you on Instagram? I have not seen that picture. Let me load this up. I swear to God, if this ends up being like Jeremy Clarkson's segments of so I went on the internet and found this. If it's something that's enough to get me cancelled. Oh no, it's not. It's not. It's not. To be fair, it's not. However, it is definitely like something that you'd go on the internet and end up finding. At least it's you don't have to go to the deep web to find it. So that's a plus. That's a bonus. That's a bonus. But I'm sure we'll see that picture reenacted. It'll be brought to life very, very soon. Any other world-class Ballon d'Or contender would have made laughing stock of Paul McShane and made him look every inch the utter post box he is, instead of changing sports with 10 minutes to go. All good offers. Good to see Bubba Herbert in the house as well. Lol, taunt. Deary me. Let's talk a little bit of let's talk a little bit of Joshua Zirkzee. Talks progressing on that front. Apparently good progress is being made there. That's they are saying that the feeling around the transfer is now at an optimistic stage. I think there's probably an instance that the feeling is that there's more people saying yes then they're saying no. So yeah, I think Xerxes, is he a sort of quality that Man United need? Probably not what we're looking like, what we desperately need. But if it's a player in which it's something that this coaching staff can work with and essentially, you know, it, maybe progress the talent, grow the talent, improve them, and depending on how the adaptation to the system that, or the idea of what the system at the club is, he could end up slotting in and providing a good fit. He might be leaving a lot more to be desired. I don't know how this signing would go. It's a case of just, if the signing happens, we'll just have to be patient and wait and see. For me, I'd want another striker after Xerxes. I still believe that there is a better striker to be had, but I won't complain as long as the deal just gets done. And judging by what the tune is at the moment, that they are essentially in the driving seat, in control of things at the moment. Just sort of break down a couple more walls, and I think we'll be home and hose dry. So, yeah, it's looking more positive on that front, and the club are also reciprocating that sort of confidence as well. Quick notion from Fabrizio Romano as well, that in terms of the signing side of things, Ten Hag will still be involved in the conversations about signing players, so he will have a say. So the manager still has influence. He still has influence. It's not a case of you shut your mouth and sit down and we'll sign all the players that we think you should get the best out of. It's actually working like how Manchester City and other top clubs around Europe do. You'll confer with the manager and you'll work together with a strategy in mind and you'll look to deliver. So, I mean, it's probably exactly what the manager wants without having the final say. So he gets to have influence, and I'm sure the conversations are all sort of like, yeah, no, I'm happy with that sort of a target. And then he gets to sit back and watch actual professionals, work efficiently and try and get the job done without, blowing out budgets and, hitting record spends. So that can be a positive as well. Gotta love a good bit of chocolate milk. Cool, refrigerated chocolate milk on a hot day. And just for reference, Fuzz, I hate McShane more than any other player, including Rodri, Rice, and Henry. Yeah, Paul McShane. I'm sure there's somewhere you'll have a Paul McShane mural or poster. It's in your loft. I can tell you got a McShane poster in your loft. He's up there somewhere. You can hear him walking around at night as well, by the way. In that little poster, you can hear clunk, clunk, clunk. He's walking around in circles up there. You ought to let him out. Breaking news! West Ham defenders have been seen playing bingo with the elderly folk at Riva Bingo. Playing with the elderly folk. Yeah, I don't think you understand. They are the elderly folk. They are those. The kids from the school, right? They think they're going to spend some time with the elderly, right? They're just like, you pick yourself an older folk and share with each other stories, right? Share with you your dreams and hopes and ambitions of life. They'll share with you their historical experiences. And then they turn up to the West Ham training complex. And they're just like, oh, why are we here? Oh, it's West Ham. Why not Arsenal? Why not? Actually, no, forget Tottenham. Tottenham are relevant. But Yeah, why not Arsenal? It's weird. It's a weird looking club logo. That it's got hammers on it. It's an ugly colour. Ugly colours. You know, the typical sort of yeah conversations that football kids, would have. And yeah, there they are. You know, the West Ham team. So you walk into them with the canes in their hands, like, I'll get there eventually. Half of them are still faster than Veghorst. Still faster than Veghorst. I've heard good things about Xerxes, but I never watched him play. I remember that Bayern Binder a few years ago. He's what I would call, he's like a journeyman. Journeyman, probably with the same sort of career appeal to a Clastian Huntelaar. Maybe. If I were to stick a name next to him, I'll probably sit somewhere around that sort of level. Clastian Huntelaar type career that he'll probably end up having. But so yeah, we'll have to see. Pink Eye 24. Felt like I had a fucking pink eye this morning, mate. Literally. But big ups to you. Good to see you. Seriously, my eyes were so sore and dry. Literally, my mum looked at me once in the morning and was like, "Well, are you all right? Have you been crying?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, if you know, I had a dream about me watching Southgate football at Man United. I couldn't stop crying last night. Please, you know, help me fight the monsters underneath my bed. I'm scared. The Southgate monster can't hurt you. He's not real. He's stuck in the England job. He can't hurt you." Behind Pink Eye 24. I'm still faster than Veghorst. Most people are. I genuinely think Anthony Herbert is probably faster than him too. I hope Tony ain't watching this. Oh shit, he's heard it all. Always watching. It's like Michael Wazowski. Always watching you. Always watching you. Bloody hell. Xerxes' agent getting a good payoff. Yes, he's demanding 8 million from Man United. How about it? He wants 12 million from AC Milan. So we've improved on that department by about 4 mil. Still probably trying to waiver that though. Pink up Anthony Herbert. Good evening, like big brother. You're always watching. For fuck's sake. Bloody hell. I knew that was going on. Sure it wasn't a wet dream? Nah, as dry as anything. Drier than a nun's vag. Bloody hell. Always watching. Big up Big up Stephanie. How we doing? 5 likes. Nice. We'll give that a quick refresh. Shame they got rid of the automatic likes counter and views counter, which is a shame. But up to 6 likes now. So nice. Good stuff, people. Keep it coming. Maybe we can hit 10 with viewership on the playback as well. So hopefully we can get that all done and dusted. 8 fucking mil. How much did they invest in the kid? I don't know. His agent, talk to his agent. Like how he goes around getting as much money is ridiculous. It's like the bloody super agents. Well, actually, is it like the super agents? The guys that can get Braithwaite, the Danish striker. moves to Barcelona, and then Choupo-Moting. You can get moves to bloody Bayern Munich. Probably even they wouldn't have had quite a big agent fee to pay. Probably would have been quite cheap, if anything. But this guy, sheesh. I certainly did. Even made sure that the duvet was all tucked in so we would never know. Bloody hell. They're conspiring against me. I swear to God. De Niro, I'm watching. I'm watching you. Excuse me? That's exactly what The Undertaker said to Johnson. How many dislikes? I have no idea, to be honest. No idea. It's a shame, actually, that they got rid of Darth Vader's lightsaber on the tube. You know, I genuinely enjoyed looking for those. Literally. Every single terrible video that was ever uploaded, the mad dislike ratios you get. And people said this video is blessed with Darth Vader's lightsaber because the red dislike bar was so long compared to the green. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Send the link, Fuzzy. Let's have a good, bad, and the night part 2. Part 2, lol 8. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Here we go again. This account's back. The account that I swear to God, after the last show, I had to end the stream to get a bigger version of that picture on, just to actually make out whether it was exactly what I thought it was. I swear to God, it literally... What the fuck? Oh, mate. Absolutely collapsed, but yeah. So let's get everybody on. But yes, good evening to you, Mike. Ugly night, I mean. Nobody would dislike Fuzzy. I'm sure you'll find there's plenty that would. There'll be plenty of people would happily dislike Fuzzy. But they are haters. They are solely haters. It's Mike Space Hunt. It is Mr. Michael Hunt. I'll address your name in full. They're far more deserving candidate to dislike than Fuzzy. Morons are plenty in the Arsenal circle. Well, I mean, yeah, I couldn't disagree with that. Michael Hunt is Fuzzy. Don't want to know, Mike. I don't want to know. Who's this Rennie Hackey? Rennie Hackey is the Go-Ahead Eagles manager. So, yeah, it would be the case out of poaching Ten Hag's new coaching staff from the management positions at other clubs and bringing other managers to be sort of assistants under Ten Hag's regime. Similar concept to what Pep has at Manchester City. So, yeah, there's that. There is that. Could work out a treat, but it could go the other way. Could go horribly wrong. I'd hope not, though. I would hope not. So, just more clarification as well. That, again, same Uruguayan outlet saying that Manuel Ugarte would love to play for Manchester United and his entourage see the club as an ideal destination. It is 90% certain that Ugarte will leave PSG who will listen to offers. So we know that UGARTE is leaving PSG, but the question is where? Where will he go? It looks like that he will be a likely signing for Manchester United, probably the favourites. A little bit of news here as well that Manchester United are not planning to sign Sofyan Amrabat on a permanent transfer. He is expected to return to Fiorentina. So, yeah, I suppose that was probably going to happen. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Have to see what happens there. Radek Vitek, backup goalkeeper for Manchester United, set to leave Manchester United on loan. Kilmarnock, St Mirren, and a League One club are showing interest in him. So another loan deal for a backup goalkeeper. Bit of team news for England on the Sunday when we play Slovakia. That Kobbie Mainoo might be in contention for the starting position in the England squad for the round of 16. Is only right. Is only right. So, yeah, hopefully that happens. Would be good to see him getting some minutes. We're very, very good to see him get some minutes. And let's welcome the whatever we call him, the tractor man. Let's call him Tractor Man.
I'm Forrest Gump.
I'm Forrest Gump. How we doing?
Oh, God. How you doing, Fudge? You right?
Yeah, doing okay. A long day at work and enjoyed a Domino's takeaway for the evening. Got some left over for my lunch tomorrow. So,
yeah, that's not bad then.
Eating well. Plenty of, very healthily.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah, chocolate milk to top it all off. So, this bloody Michael in chat. There's Mike in the chat. You see this profile picture?
No.
Oh my god! I can't. I'll bring one of his comments up so you can see it in a bit more higher definition.
Okay.
You made this account after I made a joke about can't remember what it was, people with unfortunate names, and I was just like, oh, it'd be a shame if like somebody's first name was Mike and his last name was Hunt, and then he went and made this account, and now it's a forbidden account that whenever he posts comments, I can't put it up on screen with the risk of getting banned for featuring graphic content on the screen. So yeah, can't do that. But is Badishir wanting to leave? Badishir.
Oh right, that's not the one of the picture of like what I call a vag.
Yeah.
yeah. I think he came up on your show last time, Fuzz.
Yeah.
Big up, Steph. Yeah, I think he was on your show last time. And he come up and he put that on there, didn't he? And I was like, I thought I can't see what it looks like. So what I had to do, I took believe it or not, I took a screenshot of it, and then I zoomed in, and I thought, oh my god, bloody hell, he has gone there, hasn't he?
I genuinely wonder how long it'll be before that account gets looked into. It's like, yeah, sorry guys, we're gonna have to suspend this here. Better luck next time. But yeah, it is what it is. We might as well talk a few bits Arsenal whilst you're here. Of course, your transfer front is a bit quite similar to Liverpool at the moment. So there's not a lot of noise going on
No, there's
Very,
not.
quite on the North London front. So,
Yeah,
is there much noise going
I
on? Like, is
I did watch a video. Is it what's his name? Fabrizio Romano. He did a video on YouTube about Arsenal. Funny enough, I watched today. It
Hmm,
does look like by the 1st of July, uh, our first signing will be actually Raya completing his £27 million buy from Brentford.
hmm,
Also, it's talks as well, which it's been confirmed that both Tommy Yasu and Ben White have signed, I believe it's 3-year extensions to their contract.
hmm,
So they've obviously signed that. It looks like we're going in for another goalkeeper because with Rhea, obviously it looks like Ramsdale could be leaving.
hmm,
This goalkeeper, he's 23 years of age. His name's Garcia, and he plays for Espanyol. So, and
hmm,
he featured 21. He played 21 games last season for Espanyol, and I've watched certain videos on him, and do you know what? He doesn't look that bad actually.
hmm,
So, but he's happy to come to Arsenal apparently and to be a number two.
hmm.
So,
Yeah, fair enough. Mike asks, is 27 million a good price for Raya?
well, I think it is. I mean, nowadays, obviously with the money what players are costing, and also with Raya, he won the Golden Glove last season. Um, Pretty much thanks, well, to him, but most of all is thanks for the defense in front of him. So obviously the defense has played well and obviously contributed in to win that. So is all good on that front as well. So hopefully, I'm hoping to see the news that we can most probably sign a new left back. But apparently it
Hmm,
looks like that Timber is going to be our first choice left back for next season.
hmm. Because I heard you're one of the clubs interested with the Bournemouth left back, Hungarian Kirkez. There's quite a few clubs that are interested with him. They're talking about £35 million in excess of that as the asking price for a player of his quality, which I think, Kirkez, the type of fullback he is, would be quite favourable or suitable for quite a few of the clubs. And I think with Arsenal, where you've got a dilemma where it's not really any natural fullback at your club, there's not the option to play that sort of overlapping fullback to support your winger, because
Yeah,
everyone's too concerned about playing attacking fullbacks that invert into midfield. And with the way football's going at the moment, guys like Zinchenko, even though, you know, with the eye test, he's completely failed the eye test.
yeah,
Like, everyone can see that he gets left threadbare, or he's never really in the right positions defensively to contain threats down the right hand side or down Arsenal's left hand side. But that's the modern fullback. That's what managers want. That's the way that the fullback position's starting to be implemented. So, it's a bit of damning, a bit damning for quite a few clubs that opt to try this inverted nonsense, like
yeah,
with Manchester United, inverted wingers. Playing them as more like inside forwards. It's like three narrow strikers is how your is how the front three works out, and it's just, yeah, it's not. It doesn't show good reading. Um,
yeah,
and for Arsenal's case, it means that you're going to see more of Zinchenko next season. And if you're chasing a Premier League title, is that what is that going to float Arsenal's boat? It's going to be a sinking vessel, I think, next season. But you know, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But I just think Kirkish, would be a good option that you might have missed out on. Could probably not
yeah.
quite
Could be.
a Kieran Tierney, but the same
No.
type of player in principle, you could say. Which
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, in all fairness, I mean, we've been watching all the Euros, haven't we? More pretty much most of the games. We've obviously Ukraine playing. Obviously, Zinchenko, when he's been playing for Ukraine, he hadn't been playing left back. He's been playing in that midfield. And watching him playing in the Euros to compare how he plays for us at Arsenal is a totally different player. You know, he hasn't been playing bad in the Euros, to be honest with you. But even though they're right, but you've noticed a different player on the pitch. So it makes me think now. Obviously, there's rumours that obviously Thomas Partey might be leaving.
Yeah,
So there's talks of the Everton midfielder. Um,
Anana.
is it Onana? Yeah, he's
Yeah.
that's one option. So I keep thinking of him and your bloody goalkeeper is like what? It's like the same name, but But yeah, I mean, there's talks with him coming in as well. Obviously, I mentioned on last night's show as well. There's talks of Pedro Neto. I mean, Wolves wanted 80 million, but now they put that transfer fee down from 80 million to 45, which is more reasonable. So hopefully, we'll most probably get in there and play him on the wide right, you know, and so we can have that rotational bit with Saka, like sort of thing. But I mean, the striker wise, there's been a striker floating around. I think that Sesko is that's all gone by the by now because he signed a new contract. And I think is the what's that other one? The one that plays for Sporting Lisbon. He scored 30.
Guy Courage? Is it Guy Courage?
Yes, yeah. I don't know if you remember this, buddy, but people remembered him. I mean, with my other team, Bristol City, in the Championship, he actually played both for Coventry City and Swansea City in the
Mm,
Championship. That was how he like first started over here, like getting to know him. And that
mm,
obviously left there and went to Sporting Lisbon, and I think his goal tally over there is amazing. I think it's something like I, I
mm,
think is it 32 goals in 39 games, or it's something like around that ratio. But they've slapped, I think, is around about an £80 million price tag on his head. So
mm,
Arsenal will go in there, and you know, they because I think Mikel Arteta realised now that we do need a striker that's something to get us 20 goals a season at least. So
mm.
there is a few options going around at Arsenal, but it's like what you said. We're just too bloody slow. We're just too slow. We got more chance of Tom falling off his chair than bringing in 4 or 5 players this season. So
I think watching paint dry would keep Tony awake more than watching Arsenal try to get business done fast.
most probably, yeah. I mean, like with his team, West Ham. I mean, I don't know. They signed a young player, aren't they? They've signed one player, but
Mm.
I'm not too sure if he's a first. Is he going to be a first teamer? He might be. He might not. He might not be. But
Signed their goalkeeper Fotheringham as well.
oh, Sheffield United's one, isn't it? The
One that kept holding FIFA score lines against everybody in the league.
yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they're warming up the position for him. I mean, they were doing FIFA score lines against Arsenal.
I mean, don't
For
blame him.
6-0. So, and I had a guy outside the stadium taking pictures of all the fans sleeping, as you do. But,
Oh yeah, that was Odegaard's twin. I was told.
yeah. Um, Going to another Man United story with one of the topics that I was going to cover for today was Sancho. Juventus want Sancho, but yet again another club that seemed to be against the idea of paying money for Sancho, but rather wanting to loan him, because that's the only way really that they can afford Sancho. Get him playing. Oh, we've got a real star quality player on our hands here, but then nobody wants to pay the fee.
No,
So
no.
they want to just pay some wages, a small loan fee, and you keep paying his wages, right? And we'll get the star player for low quality for low amounts of money.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's clubs I think probably trying to test the waters with United a bit. probably trying to cheat their way, and cheat I mean like cheapskate their
Yeah,
way through with the new regime. But I think with Man United, irrespective of what goes on, the idea is that they're not interested in loans at all. They've stated numerous times only a permanent move away for,
yeah,
but not just Sancho, but also Greenwood as well. Only permanent transfers. They've got lots of interest, but nobody wants to pay it. So
no,
if
no,
if they said tomorrow, yes, we'll loan out Sancho, most clubs in the world would just be lining up to sign him. Most
yeah.
clubs.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, to be
they
honest with you, I'll take him at Arsenal. I would take him at Arsenal, like on loan. But it's like what I said. I mean, obviously, Man United wants the money. I think what's that? Is it perhaps is it 70 mil?
mm,
I
the
think it
funny
is.
thing is that it was actually a fee paid in installments, so the value of the transfer was about 70 mil. But they paid it over a couple of seasons, a
Well,
couple of transfer windows, which is ironic because doing the negotiations was also over a couple of transfer windows as well. So you spent one summer under Roddy trying to get the deal done, failed. So then they went to the next summer transfer window and then got the signing done. So he should have
well,
been here at a year earlier than he
yeah,
was. But, yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
that's for you.
I mean, I can understand why. I mean, because in all fairness, he stood out for Borussia Dortmund last season, especially in the games that we were sort of like when we were watching in the Champions League. So
Mm.
in the league. I
Oh,
couldn't tell you what the stat was, but I mean, watching Borussia Dortmund in this last season in the Champions League, he he was brilliant. In other
mm,
words, he was one of their best players. So that I can understand it why people want Sancho, but the trouble is with this player comes a certain character with him,
mm,
and I think that's what people are getting put off by, because it's easy to loan a player, and you know if things don't work out, they can actually terminate the loan and send him back, sort of thing,
yeah,
if they wanted to. But I mean, I think, but what it is, the reason why they want to do that, I think, is more of a safety precaution. I call it. So I get why they're doing it, why they would want to loan him, but you know. But it's like what you said. If it ain't that team, if it's not Dortmund, it most probably, I reckon there'd be a few other teams lining up for him. But it's like what you said,
mm,
Buzz. It's going to be, unfortunately, it's just going to be for a link.
mm, yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like the seeds of destruction were planted by the previous regimes with
Yeah,
stupid negotiations, high wages, over exorbitant values. So you make net losses when you go to sell those players, but then you find actually we can't sell them anyways because nobody wants them. Nobody wants to pay the high fees to try and recuperate the losses, and then the wages you've negotiated for them, nobody can afford them because there's leagues out there that your wages are so high that most football leagues on the planet wouldn't allow you to have that player in their league because of how high his
yeah,
wages would be. So it's we're we're paying the price.
yeah,
The old regime may not be here, but we'll still be paying the price, and possibly for the next couple of transfer windows at the very least, with some of the players that we end up not selling this summer. Rashford probably end up being one of them. Maybe
yeah,
Maguire. Probably not McTominay. McTominay's just, he's not a guy that demands huge wages. If anything, he's still on one of the smaller wages at the club. So there's that. But yeah, I
yeah.
think for the
I
most
mean,
part,
yeah, we know what it feels like, Fuzz. I mean, it's like, we call it dead wood at the club. You really want to get, if you can get rid of 80% of your dead wood in one season, is great. Obviously, bringing stuff in, like other stuff in, other
mm,
players in. Sorry, but we've had that problem. We've had to ship players out on loan just to get them off the wage bill, and not that because then it comes in with FFP. This is the
mm,
reason why Arsenal, on the video I watched from Fabrizio Romano, he's saying we couldn't fully sign him because FFP would have been breathing down our necks. So that was why we went for the £3 million loan option with an option to
Mm.
buy at the end of the season, which obviously
Mm.
that's what we're doing. Look, so
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of clubs now. I think you're going to see clubs buying players, but certain players like big names, I think some of them now are going to be just in the loan option because of FFP. Because with what's happened with obviously Everton and Forest, Man City are just going to get bloody let off with them. Their 115 charges most probably reduced to be about 4 or 5 charges at the most. But
Mm.
this is what you're going to see because he's going to start rocking up these teams now, and obviously the owners and everybody's going to be worried about this FFP now. So I don't
Mm.
think a lot of clubs are going to be spending in the region of 250 to 300 million pounds. Like you're bringing in three or four players for that price sort of thing. So
Mm.
it's going to be a lot of loan options with an option to buy at the end of the season, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with the asking price for Sancho, apparently we've offered not just Juventus but also Barcelona as well, about £40 million, I think, as a transfer fee. So it's about £30 million knocked off of the initial asking price, or the initial payment that we paid out. So I mean, 40 million for Sancho, I think,
That's
for a
not
player of
bad.
his quality, it's not unreasonable by any means.
Yeah,
That's probably a realistic price to get for him. So
yeah,
yeah, they've said that. Well, apparently here actually says that they've the preference is actually for permanent transfers, but they could still end up having to accept loan offers on the premise that if it gets to the end of the summer transfer window and they're still here, that's a manager that doesn't want either of those two guys there, and both of those guys do not want to be here. So if it's not looking likely that you're going to sell them, you'll have to
yeah.
just loan them out to just get them out of the picture for the
Well, I'm
meanwhile.
looking at this here. The straw chewing alcoholic IJ.
Hurry up, late. Get them loaned out to Juventus to up his value, and maybe that's what you
Yeah,
have to do. That's probably the last resort, but it's probably the only thing you can really do is loan them out to clubs just to try and actually get the value, or to sell it to clubs. Yeah,
yeah,
no, he's worth this investment. So go ahead and sign him.
yeah.
Maybe we end up like how we entertained the option for a swap with Juventus with Chiesa coming the other way. Maybe that's still an option on the table. Maybe instead of Greenwood going that way, we give them Sancho instead, and we say, well, Chiesa will probably be about the same sort of value. If you want, we can just do a straight swap. Of
Yeah.
course, then the only other question would be the wages. Can because I think Chiesa probably has much lower wages compared to Jadon Sancho.
Sanchez,
So
yeah, definitely. But
sell him
I
next
mean,
season.
he got that problem with Eddie Nketiah. I mean, it's obviously I know with teams that wants him, it's like Fulham, Brentford, and who's the other? There's one more. But
West Ham.
Wolves and West Ham. Yeah, West Ham.
West Ham.
But
And
in all fairness, it's not necessarily the transfer fee; it's the player's wages. But I reckon it's going to be Ardas getting rid of Eddie Nketiah because, in all fairness, he wants, he's on 100 grand a week at Arsenal. Now, are these,
mm,
I mean, Brentford, I mean, let's be honest. I guarantee you, not one of those players that plays for Brentford are on 100 grand a week. Maybe one
mm,
that sticks out in mind. It might be Ivan Toney,
mm,
but he'd be the only one. But it depends if Brentford or Fulham or Wolves can afford his wages. I know West Ham could.
mm.
West Ham would be good. And oh fuck, I didn't see you there, Tom. Right, mate. And
It's just hiding.
yeah, I reckon it'd be hard. But it's like what I said. I think you're going to see a lot of loans this season with
Mm.
an option to buy because everybody's going to be afraid of this FFP lark that's going around with what's happened to
And
the.
maybe Man United do loan deals as well. But, we will
Yeah,
spend the majority of the budgets earlier in summer, but then we'll complete the deals later on with loans. It might be on the cards for
exactly.
quite a few clubs.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Because you said
um,
you've got 100 million to spend, but if let's say for a figure of speech, if it was Man United and they did just have 100 million to spend, that 100 million is only going to get you two players in, like two decent players, 50 million each. Then the rest you are going to be looking at loans. So that there's that option as well.
100%. Let's welcome the egg at the bottom of the screen there. How are we doing, Tony? You're good?
Yeah, all good, mate. Apart from clearing my throat, I'm all good. For the Greats are good.
For the Greats are good. But yeah, we're just going through a few stories quickly there. But sell him next season if he's a success at Juve. Can't sell him with one good season at Dortmund. Well, it's actually not even one good season; it's half a season. He sat at home playing FIFA for the other half. Dortmund got 80 mil for him, then 3 season wages paid by United fully for a season. Borussia's laughing at United, and to be fair, that was probably still a loan deal that was orchestrated by old regime. But now we're trying to play a bit more hardball and beat a bit of respect into other clubs. This is what we want. You can stop taking the piss out of us. We're trying to be reasonable with you, and whether United can get back that same level of respect in the negotiating rooms, then that can only bode well for United if they can do that. But until then, I still think there's a lot of damaged reputation amongst other clubs that United have got to try and claw back. I'll extend that to you, Early Doors. Do you reckon that with the way that United has gone about doing its business in the past, that other clubs will be reluctant to buy into brand spanking new Man United so soon? Do you think they'll still try to push United's buttons, try and test Ineos a bit?
Of course they will do. I mean, obviously with Radcliffe in charge, you're going to bump the price up even more if you think about it. Because as far as they're concerned, he wants to get the club moving forward, so they'll spend more money than they should do. So they'll up the price as always, because if it's Man United for one, just like if you look at it, not being funny, even Arsenal, they do exactly the same there.
100%. Do you reckon that's about right, Anthony?
Yeah, I certainly agree with what Timmy said. There's going to be a lot of teams doing this and that. So yeah, I totally agree with what Tony said. And I mean, Arsenal are going to be doing the same, but it won't surprise me if the top 6 teams do exactly the same. And bloody hell, Tony, what have you done there? Jesus. It's a porn star moustache. What's going on?
That's
He's
why
shaving badge buds.
I'll about to make a comparison there, but I'll probably get in trouble for
it. He's already in the chat, Fuzzy. You're all right. Don't worry.
You know what he was watching,
that's its own threat.
Yeah. You know what he was watching, don't you? He was watching that film with Tom Hardy and, Charles Bronson. Yeah, that's what he's...
that one goes out here. He needs to try and grow out there.
He's waiting for that. Yeah, he's going to wait for that.
Do the corners here, do these peel off? Does it peel off a bit?
I thought he was funny because when he come on, he was like this, wasn't he?
He was hiding the razor. No, that's what it was. It was all painted on. He was rubbing it off. He's it's like, guys, let me just get rid of the painted fluff there.
It's not level. It's not level, team.
No, it's because my face is on the piss. That's what it is.
Oh right, okay.
one eye's like that, really, and just leaning like that, so he looks like it's straight.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
It should get respect back during negotiations sooner rather than later, and I think they can do. I think they can do that. I think there's still Omar Barada still yet to come in from Manchester City. He'll start 19th of July. So yeah, well, I think once we've got him in, I think things will start taking off. He absolutely lost it.
Oh my god!
Bloody hell. But yes, so Tony with the fashion tash.
You know what's going to come up next in the comments, don't you? It's going to be a picture of Tone in there, but
I swear
it's going to say something.
He's not said anything in the past 2 minutes. 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
He's in the process.
Creating one.
He's in the process of creating a new account. It's zoomed in, and it's just that. Yeah, bloody hell. But so yeah, at West Ham, you've signed your new goalkeeper, Fotheringham.
Yeah, the third backup keeper.
Third backup keeper. Let's hope he doesn't play, because with Sheffield United, he was trying to get the world record for most amount of goals conceded in a season, and he did a very good effort at that as well. By the way, they conceded well over 100 goals in one single Premier League campaign. So big shout outs to Sheffield United on that. Anybody else that is linked with West Ham as of late?
There's a few players that's been linked. I mean, I've just seen this one here. Can't exactly class him as a new player, but apparently Ben Rama is set to return back to West Ham. So might class him. Does he keep disappearing all the time? Might class him as a new player, basically. So that'd be interesting. But there's a couple of others.
Oh boy.
So
I can use signing.
Well, it's like Anthony trying to sell bloody Eddie Nketiah as always.
Yeah. You can't blame me, can you? I just want him gone. You know what, Saint? You can make me the most happiest. Well, your team can make me the most happiest man on YouTube if you just sign him. Seriously.
If you sign him, he will make a YouTube channel.
I would come out with my YouTube channel. I will. And Tim can come on with that amazing moustache and on early doors football TV geese.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Check out the lip brush.
Check out the lip brush, and we are live.
Bloody
oh god!
Trying to find the players' names there. Fucking gone at me head. There's a Jackson kid. He's supposed to be pretty good. Apparently, we're going for a second bid with what's his name?
Eddie Nketiah.
Kilman. Apparently, supposed to be going back in for him again. For Kilman.
Yeah, about what was it? £45 million for him, was it?
Yeah, they reckon maybe 35 is what I see it over the line, but it's still kind of big money for him, whatever way you look at it.
Yeah, I suppose. See if I can find anything else that we can entertain. He's still losing it. He can't stop.
Oh, it's like Dr. Robotnik from Sonic. Oh god!
So we got the gay porn star. We got the Dr. Robotnik. What other comparisons are we getting in there? Yeah, I've got your guys' thoughts on the. I suppose we'll go on with the news about Ineos and this Todibo deal, the Jean-Claude Todibo deal. That Manchester United, desperate to get the deal done, are appointing a lawyer, Swiss lawyer, to go to the Court of Arbitration with UEFA and try and sort out the legalities of doing this deal. After Man United get told, yeah, you can't do this deal because you've got the same club situation. However, you've then got Manchester City signing Savio from I think it was he was on loan at Girona from a French club. Can't remember what the French club's name was, but that same French club is also a part of the Manchester City football group.
Okay.
So it's like it's all in the same network. So how have they gone and signed a player from their own football group under that? It's really, really weird. And I don't know if it's something to do with the fact that we're in the same competition as Nice, and that's what they're flaring up about. But at the same time, on loan at Girona last season, Girona were in the Champions League. Essentially, it's all privy, and they've signed a player that was at their own club somewhere else, and they was just like, now we'll just shuffle him into Manchester City's ranks. But that club he was at last season, they're also in the same competition as us. So all the problems that we should have with UEFA, we're not having. I mean, what's your verdicts on this? Are United right to hire somebody to go challenge that?
I think they're the start of many clubs, because I think when you look at the likes of Forest, Everton, no doubt Leicester probably joining on the bandwagon as well. Everyone's going to be wanting to see City at least get deducted some points or some kind of financial obligation with these 115 charges. But yeah, I mean, if United starts the stance and basically gets everyone involved and follows suit, then hopefully we see some justice done. Because when you look at the likes of Man United, Arsenal, you spent some big money, and you now got to be careful what you buy and things like this. Yeah, it seems City can just kind of still do things, even though they've got these charges over their head. So how do they get away with it? And clubs like Forest, Everton, and Leicester be docked points straight away, and we're still waiting to find the outcome. What's going on with City? There's something wrong there altogether.
Yeah,
I think it's what the hacker bloke said, that he's convinced by what he's seen. I think he said something like, "Oh, I'd be really concerned if I was in Man City's shoes right now." And he's the alleged person that's seen all of the dirty stuff going on. So if we are to take his word, and that is solely just his word, it might be an absolute nothingness. But if we were to take his word, then that would be Manchester City in trouble. How good are your lawyers? How good are you at covering up the tracks? Time will tell, and we'll see what happens. Probably not. It probably won't get charged for 115 charges, or found guilty of 115 charges. But the ones that they do get found guilty of, if they do get found guilty of any of them, probably might be big charges, quite big charges. What if it's the biggest charge? The punishment would have to be significantly severe, rather than a little fine for the dressing room being the wrong size or something. So, I think there is that.
Well, if you look here, I mean, look at Luton Town back in the day. I mean, they got relegated. What was it, 9 divisions? When they got done for their betting and all that, and they're kind of illegal stuff. So, what's the difference there?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. But what makes it more funny is, well, I see funny, but dodgy as well, is how it's got to be all done behind closed doors and is very secretive. So obviously, whatever the charges are, and if they do get found guilty of how many charges out of that 115, I think it's like what I said. I think there'd be 4 or 5 of them, the main ones that will stand out. But I feel that their punishment that they get, it won't be a lot. So, in other words, you'd be looking at, I think personally, it'd be a ban for buying players for a season, and also it most probably be a hefty fine. In other words, that's all I can see happening there at Man City at
Mm.
the minimum.
Yeah. But it is what it is with Manchester City and their stupid FFP bollocks and stuff. But yeah, I mean, Manchester United, Arsenal, West Ham, all of these clubs, Manchester City just going on their merry way, and we'll carry on spending hundreds of millions, transfer window in, transfer window out. And then we've got all of our clubs that have to, tiptoe carefully around the thin ice, careful where you step, otherwise, you'll fall straight in. It's like, what? We've got big ambitions as fans. We've got big ambitions, but whether those ambitions can be, acted upon, we'll have to see. But whether the club, the hierarchies of all of our clubs have got the ambition to find ways around dealing with the hardships and still making all the necessary moves to see our clubs compete and go up against Manchester City or go up against other clubs around our sort of levels, have the likes of Arsenal, West Ham or Man United got the makeup to go above and beyond. I think with Manchester United, I still think that because it's so early doors, it's another reference, that we don't really know where this new regime is going to take us. It's all sounds good. It feels like it's all good, but it's all the devil's all going to be in the detail and seeing what actually happens when we get to the end of the day. For Arsenal, I feel like it's a case that there's a lot that can go, even better. Because I still feel like you've got the likes of Edu as your director of football. He's not, firing on all cylinders to try and get Arsenal winning Premier League titles here. He's just comfortable at finding a new kid on the block, fresh flavour of the month. All the people, getting hyped up and excited, and having good media appeal. Is that with Arsenal? How much of it is, in the right sort of position to taking your club to Premier League glory?
I don't know. You mention it. You mention it with Edu, but trouble is though, is both of them is Edu and Arteta. They're the ones that seem to go for the players that they want, and then in the long run, they're letting the cronkies know. They're saying, "Well, we're interested in this player. This would improve the situation at our club. This is going to cost us X amount of millions of pounds to get this player in." And they're like, "Yeah, okay, fine." But it's like what I said. They've got to spend. They've got to spend big, but when I say they've got to spend big, they've got to spend wisely to do it. And that's it with Arsenal, because it only takes them to buy one certain player that they say, oh, he's this, he's the next player they're making, and they go, oh, he's equivalent of this player. But in all fairness, if he doesn't produce that good on the pitch, then it's going to be a waste of time, effort, and money to get that player in anyway. So, do I think that Arsenal are going to win the Premier League next season? If you was going to ask me that, Fuzzy, I think no. I think Man City still will as well, even though we want these players to come in. I mean, you're for us to win the league now, we need at least 5 players to come in, maybe 6 at a push, right? But I mean, it's like what you said. We're doing things late in the transfer window. We really are. So it's like, I think it's like they all sit back and they all look at the players who's going here and there, and they're biding their time, and then they go for this certain player, and then it makes me think that the money that they spend on a certain player, is he actually worth that money as well? I mean, people were saying about Kai Havertz, was he worth the money? at the end of the day. But I personally think he was worth that 65 million, and I thought that Arsenal had the better deal out of it. Going back in the beginning part of the season, I would have said, yeah, Chelsea have the better deal. But when you look at his stats from last season, I mean, what was it? 30, I think it was 14 goals in 36 games. And it was either 6 or 7 assists. So, in all fairness, that wasn't that bad. I mean, that's a better record at Arsenal one season than in a few seasons he's had at Chelsea. I mean, Wolfie will tell you down here now. He'll most probably agree with me with that. But it's knowing what players are right there. Right?
Is it Wolfie though?
No, hang on. Wolfie Bang distraction. My avatar is my sex. Oh my god. Sorry, Wolfie. If you're watching.
Fourth Wang subtraction. I've just realised as well.
It was because I saw the picture of Wolfie in the corner. That was what it was. Thinking it was. Oh, but yeah, that's my option for Arsenal at the minute. I don't think they'll win the league next season. I seriously don't.
I'll tell you what, with this guy, every account he makes, I'm seeing my sub count go up. I think he's literally remembering to subscribe with every login he has. If you've got about 900,000 more accounts,
don't be too greedy. At least if he can get you like another 18 or something like that, or whatever it is, just to get you up to 200 by the end of the show, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, West Ham. I mean, you're sort of teetering up and down slightly, sort of on the cusp of European football. Do you feel like there's changes in your club that you feel should or need to be made to go up to the next level?
Well, some interesting things come out recently. Possibly a new investor in the club. And that is Shaquille O'Neal, the old basketball player. Apparently, he came to West Ham when fell in love with the club and that, and he's willing to actually put a stake in West Ham. Apparently, I think he's looking to buy.
Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal, basketball player.
Yeah, bloody hell, he's got loads of money.
So he's looking to, there's a possibility. I think it's Vanessa Gold's shares. He's looking to buy into that. The problem we've got with Kretinsky is the fact of, just like Cliff owning Nice, he obviously owns Sparta Prague. So he's increased his shares to, I think it's 27% in the club. So he's the second main shareholder. But because obviously he's interested with Sparta, plus the fact he's also looking to buy the Royal Mail. It limits what he can actually do, and I can't see him kind of getting rid of Sparta Prague. That's for sure. I mean, the only thing that's kind of come out of it, from him, which he recommended, was Tim Steadton, which obviously is doing all the deals. So that's kind of one positive that's come out of that. Sullivan. He's still the main shareholder, so he pulls all the strings. Now, Lopetegui's put his shopping list in with them. If he's going to go with all of it, I don't know. But like with Man United, I think we've got roughly 80 million to spend, which doesn't buy him much.
No.
Doesn't buy him much at all. But, I think obviously the Paqueta thing is put a dampener on things, because obviously we're still not too sure what's going on with that player. Then obviously, there was the rumour Alvarez going to Man U and then getting injured, so that's kind of scuppered that plan. Ben Rama coming back, which
part of the plan.
Well, yeah,
saw the legs. It's just like, oh shit, gotta get injured.
Yeah, so you can't buy. But it's going to be interesting times at West Ham. The problem we've got at the moment, just like Arsenal, we put up the ticket prices. West Ham done exactly the same. And some of the things he's looking to do with that, it just kind of puts it out of people's reach. It's really, so it wouldn't surprise me we're going to see some boycotts going on at the London Stadium because of the way he wants things to be done.
Yeah, I mean, they got a new rule in it, Arsenal now, is if you're a season ticket holder and you've watched under, I think if it's under, is it 17, 18 games in a season, you will not get your season ticket or your season ticket renewed, basically.
Really?
Yeah, they're looking at stuff like that now. So with season ticket holders, what Arsenal what the board wants is them to be at all the home games and pretty much half the away games as well. So apparently, because they send you out the season ticket, which obviously you've got a barcode on there with a number, and apparently they look on their systems because obviously this is what they do in the boardroom, that sort of thing, and they can tell how many games you've actually been and watched the season, sort of thing. So this is, I think, if I remember correctly, I think I heard Lee Gunner say it, somewhere along those lines. I mean, he knew a few people that went to quite a lot of games and they were season ticket holders. But for this season now, coming up this season, they weren't allowed to renew their season tickets.
That's mad.
So,
Crazy.
yeah.
Screw the ballot systems.
That's what they do. That's what they do now. He's a money making racket now, Buzz. He's just wrong on all. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all.
Now we're going to have to put up with more Julians turning up, or Uncle Fester's turning up to bloody AFTV next season. So I'll probably offer those top level memberships to people like that to get the social media appeal. We'll go through one last point, which I've already given my thoughts and verdicts on it, and just wanting to think what other people, we'll find out what other people think about this. The Ten Hag's coaching shake-up, having the likes of Ruud van Nistelrooy from PSV, and then also the manager of Go Ahead Eagles, I think is Rene Hake, joining the coaching staff of Manchester United, with also the likes of Benny McCarthy, Darren Fletcher, Mitchell van der Gaag, and also what's his face, Steve McLaren, potentially unsure on their futures. I think McCarthy's leaving at the end of this month. His contract expires. Darren Fletcher, I think, is just in limbo. Mitchell van der Gaag, I think, is wanting to become a first-team manager again. And then there's Steve McLaren, I think, is just waiting to see what the club decide to do with him. What's your thoughts on those moves? Do you think that's a good thing for Man United, the reshuffling the coaching staff?
I think it is, because obviously what you just said was there's a couple there that wants to, leave the first-team managers. Some of them are debating what if they actually got a job at the start of next season. So obviously with these people coming in, it's quite good. I mean, I put one in the comments earlier, and I just read in brief. What was the guy's name I put in? Rene Hake. Yeah, I think he was he was an ex-manager, I think, as well. And
currently is the manager.
But he is the manager. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. And he's, and something like that, having that actually in a coaching system in the back boardroom, obviously it could help Manchester United in a certain amount of ways. Like obviously, obviously scouting policies that way, bringing in players, getting them, so obviously it's there to spot talent and trying to improve the club in some kind of way and form. Van Nistelrooy. You mentioned Van Nistelrooy. That's another one. I mean, with him being the manager of PSV, wasn't it? He was the manager there. So, I mean, he's got his contacts there with obviously the Dutch players and, and stuff like that. So anything that can help Man United get players. But in all fairness, it helps with when you're trying to bring in a top quality player with these guys there at Man United. It gives you it's more help for you for the pulling power. you know what I mean? To get these players over the line and signed. So yeah, I reckon that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's a good move, to reshuffle things, because you can't have the same season like you did last year, because that didn't work at all. Van Nistelrooy coming in, that's got to be a real big positive, because it will show them that they actually score the goals, and that's one thing you've been lacking. So yeah, you've got to take it as a positive, 100%.
Yeah, I'll just quickly share a quick video of this Rene Hake guy going absolutely ballistic at his players. Don't know if this is a half-time or a full-time thing.
Fucking hell! Hey! Come out! I think you have to tell something to the guys, or not? Instead of with your head down. Fucked up the game! 2 stupid yellow cards. That's one. And second, is also when I put extra defender in. Fucking shit, don't give away the first zone. Play 3 against 2 in the middle, and you catch a goal. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Jadon Sancho ain't coming back. he's just seen that. He's just like, nah. No, see, you can stay. You can stay there.
Let me tell you first. I think that was me on the Man United agenda the other night.
Yeah, that was your post England meltdown. That is. Yeah, but so yeah, it's interesting near future for Man United, and maybe things will lighten up a bit more for Arsenal, probably after the Euros, as they are saying. We can't do any business until the Euros are done, and then the players have got to have their holidays, and then we'll start doing business. Mate, it's claps where you still got PR merchants all over infesting your club. I think with Ineos, they're actually trying to steer away from PR. I genuinely think they're saying, fuck public relations here. We just want a club to actually start acting like a football club. Worry about buying dogs and horses and turning your fucking club into Animal Planet later. Maybe when there's some trophies, you can have your sheepdogs, protecting your Premier League titles and Champions League trophies, rather than sort of being everyone's best friend. And then having a rota for players taking the dog for walks. And then for West Ham's case, that the club progresses in the right direction rather than sort of sits in that awkward state of limbo where no one really knows where it wants to go, where they want West Ham to go. Because it's like you can either keep pushing and keep adding to what West Ham is, and see it go and start competing with the bigger clubs consistently and finishing above them, and also continuing to win trophies as well. Or do you just say, well, we got close enough, that's fine, the fans will be happy. The fans will be happy. We don't have to worry. We're not too fussed. I think with West Ham, there's a big opportunity to continue to grow, but whether they've got the minerals to do it, or the passion, or the want, or the desire.
Comes down to the chairman, that one. That comes down to the chairman.
Could we see more anti-Sullivan protests next season? We'll have to see. And will we see some Kroenke protests next season if Arteta and Arsenal are sat in like 5th or 6th place at Christmas? Goes backwards.
Well, personally, I hope it's Arteta. I mean, do you know what? There's a lot of Arsenal fans that's not keen on the Kroenke. I mean, okay, I'm not exactly 100% keen on them, but you can't argue with what they've done. They've actually backed the manager. I mean, they've given him 750 million to spend since he's been in charge. So, I can't really blame the Kroenkes in that. All I can blame is Mikel Arteta, but it's not fair just to blame Mikel Arteta. You've got to blame Edu as well, because those two are the ones that wants these players. and they're the ones. Well, they're the two people, so-called apparently, that's got the pulling power to attract top quality players. I mean, we've been interested in Oshman as well, but I can't see him coming to Arsenal. Seriously, I can't unless they want to spend about 125 million on this player, which I don't think there's. I don't think personally what the money we spent on Declan Rice, I think is going to be a while now where you see a player come in for that price or more than that price. You know, I think you're talking about 2 or 3 season times, maybe, you know, in a few years. So I can see the players coming in now will be maximum, I think, around about the 70, 80 million pound mark for Arsenal for the next few seasons, personally.
Yeah.
Nice. It's about a good time to call it there. About nearly hit 2 hours mark there. Anybody that would like to subscribe to Early Doors Football TV, link is in the description to his channel there. So do be sure to head over there and subscribe. What have you got planned over the next coming days, Tony?
So Sunday will be the Sunday night takeaway show at 8 o'clock. Me and Anthony will be on with Mr. B for the Man United agenda with the England review. You'll possibly see Anthony end up looking like me with no hair. Maybe that kind of thing to look like the little kind of handlebars in his mouth after he kind of explodes at Southgate and the shit that we produced as we kind of fly back to the UK. So yeah, look out for that one.
No, what will happen is you've got this bit, Nancy's going to have this bit. You're just going to suddenly see it appear just out of nowhere. It's just a bit bushy down here.
You do realise he's going to have to change the thumbnail on the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly show.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. He's going to have to edit it. You're going to have to borrow Anthony's eyebrows, right, to sort of add a bit more clarity there.
Definitely.
I'll just use that unibrow that he has.
I think I've been attacked by this. I've been out in the sun too long, and I reckon they're starting to thin. That's what I reckon.
you just bleach them to kind of keep up with the thumbnail, basically.
And thumbnail, yeah.
Obviously Wednesday, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and it's going to be quiz time for you guys.
Yeah.
What are the categories of the quiz?
So we're going to have obviously some general knowledge. We're going to have the Premier League. What's the other one we're going to have in there? Maybe have some World Cup, and we'll try and find some Euro ones in there as well for you.
Are
the teams we support.
Some might be historical. We're going to have a mixture in there.
I think I know my strong suits and my weak suits. So
no, that's not your suit. That's your waistcoat. That's like your Southgate waistcoat. That's what you're on about, Fuzz.
Oh, that's true. If I wear my waistcoat, I have to not breathe. It's like a bloody corset.
I can see it now happening. I can see it now. And if I lose to Fuzzy, right, and he has got, picture of Forrest Gump in the background, and he's dressed up as Fuzzy Gump, and I lose to Fuzzy Gump, I am going to have so much shit. It's unreal. I can see it. Seriously, I can.
Fuzzy Gump.
All right. Well, Anthony, what have you got coming up the next week or so?
Well, I have got something coming up. I'd rather not say what it is, but that's a joke, by the way. What I'm going to say is... Don't
know what's coming up there.
I got... Well, is the England game we're going to be watching is like what Tony said. So we're going to be doing the review of the game, obviously, the England game on the Man United agenda, where... I don't know whether I'm going to be in a good mood or a bad mood, depending on if Southgate changes this team around and we can get a 3-0 win. If we get a 3-0 win, I'll paint my I'll just paint my face. Right, that's what I'll do. I'll have to St. George's Cross, on my face or maybe on the cheek. I don't know. Depends how I feel. But yeah, we're going to be doing that. Obviously, Sunday night is the well. Before I do that, the Man United agenda. I hope early doors. I hope he bloody shaves this off because I ain't coming on. And and then obviously there's a Sunday night takeaway show, and then there's going to be the good, the bad, and the ugly on Wednesday, which you said we're going to be doing the quiz. I think are we going to talk about the quiz and how it's going to be done or anything like that, or is it simple?
Yeah, we'll lay some ground rules down so you know how it's going to work out.
It might not just be me and Anthony. It could be some other people. Yeah, might find an extra face or two invited to do the quiz. You know, the more the merrier. A bit more competition. Might add a bit of fire to it.
Yeah, we could look at doing that.
Yeah, a big good, the bad, and the ugly special. Got to find 2 other names: the good, the bad, the ugly, and this and that.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, the this and the that.
Yeah.
It'd be episode 24, and it's a case of do we take a break for before the new season starts, and then come back with season 2 of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways,
that's what we've got coming up. So and that's it. And this guy here, Fuzzy, he's desperate for me to do my own show, isn't he? Honestly, he wants me to get a show. So obviously, I don't know. I've been thinking about it.
This guy.
There's this guy. What? This guy here?
No, this guy on the screen.
This guy on the screen. Oh my god! Oh yeah, that's Tom, isn't it? Yeah, that's Tom. The picture's Tom.
The Tom with pink eye.
I like how it's changed to the what is it? The straw chewing alcoholic. Tractor.
But anyways, guys, big ups to everybody that's dropped in to say hello, including the 5,000 accounts from that one person. It's always appreciated, and thank you for subscribing on all of those accounts that you kept logging into. Do appreciate, including one of the accounts that I cannot show your comment on the screen, given the circumstances that your profile picture may actually end up getting somebody banned if they click on it. So we'll have to analyze that profile picture after the show's gone off the air. But big ups to everybody else.
It's a weird picture. Is early doors with a Brazilian. So he's
stripped down here for a change. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But big thank you to everybody that's smashed the likes and has subscribed. And that's it from us for this evening. Once again, thank you to Early Doors and Anthony for joining me late in the day on this stream. Company's always appreciated, and gone 2 hours, so not bad at all. And we'll be back again very, very soon. So all the best. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday nights, and Friday is tomorrow, so the weekend is just around the corner. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you all again very soon. Ciao for now.